The main question at the end of the day when it comes to Wano country is how do we defeat, how do we beat Yonko Kaido? People, you know what the drill is. This video is brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends. Now, of course, Raid Shadow Legends, I'm pretty sure you are aware, you've heard the news, and Raid Shadow Legends is, of course, one of the games mobile that is growing at an exponential rate. Raid Shadow Legends being a dark fantasy game that is pretty real. The lore, the character designs, the bosses, it is one of the better titles out there on the mobile scene, and its popularity definitely does show that. The game can be relatively tough and relatively challenging, but that is also a component of the game that I do enjoy. It is very satisfying when you do get a clean win, and on the flip side, it is pretty aggravating when you do get your ass rocked. And right now, the daily login reward program for new players has been doubled from 90 days to 180 days. So right now, go in the description box down below, click on the special link, and if you are a new player, you will get 100,000 silver plus a free champion, which is Hexweaver. Not only that, but the game is available on PC as well. So on that note, thank you once again for Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video, and let us get on with the topic at hand. Now, I know a lot of folks, the detractors in the comment section, are automatically gonna be like, oh, well, the hostages, bro. Just take out one of Kaido's hostages and he's really weak. Or some ridiculous Kibidongo. Oh, please. Oh, spare me. Spare me. Please. No Kibidongos. And the detractors need to stop with this 100 hostages. No.
Stop it. Get some help.
We know the man is nothing but honors. He executed Oden with honor and dignity. 100 honors Kaido. No hostages required, okay? Goddamn. But let's get to the serious, like the actual, like let's just keep it a buck, okay? Keep it a buck. No more trolls, no more detractors. How do we defeat Kaido? Like for real, for real. Well, Kaido is a bit special.
He's a bit special.
He's just a wee little bit special. Kaido, compared to other bad guys, and let's roll through the list real quick here, all right? In the East Blue, Luffy could actually defeat all of his opponents one-on-one clean for the most part. Then the problem came with Crocodile. Luffy had the raw physical power and might to overwhelm Crocodile, but he actually couldn't hit Crocodile. And we see in Crocodile vs. Luffy Part 2, once we have Mizu Luffy doing his thing, Crocodile is getting flummoxed. Crocodile is getting put on his booty by Luffy on several occasions. So it's not like Luffy can actually damage Crocodile with his raw power, he just can actually hit him. Then when it came to NL, who to this day is one of the strongest characters in the whole verse of One Piece. I did a video on that, a very good video on that, check that out. That being said, the fact that NL was lightning and Luffy was rubber, well, we all know he countered NL, which gave Luffy a massive leg up against someone that powerful. Now after that, we have one Rob Lucci. Now, Rob Lucci at the very beginning was fierce as all hell. This man threw Luffy, Zoro, and I believe also Nami as well. They got blasted out of the mansion, and Luffy got wedged between buildings, Zoro was stuck in a chimney, and so on. So Rob Lucci was mad fierce at the beginning. But then after the train ride, and they went through some training and so on, and Luffy dominates Blueno. When Luffy and Rob Lucci fight again, even though Luffy is not as good as Rob Lucci in base form, at least that's what I got, in Gear 2, Luffy could actually beat out Rob Lucci. So it's actually relatively subtle, but if you go back to like the first fight that Rob Lucci and Luffy have in Enies Lobby, when Rob Lucci transforms into his Mono Leopard hybrid form for the first time, and Luffy's in Gear 2, Luffy actually kind of beats him out in Gear 2. So it kind of indicates that Luffy actually is better than Rob Lucci in Gear 2 by a little bit. Not only that, but in Gear 3, if not for the fact that Rob Lucci landed on a Marine ship, Luffy would have actually beaten Rob Lucci. That one giant pistol attack throttled Rob Lucci, and he was on the verge of passing out in the air. So even though the fight was extremely difficult on Luffy's part, obviously, it was extremely difficult. The fact is that in various cases we see that Gear 2 and Gear 3 can get the job done. And then afterwards, we have Magellan. Magellan still got somewhat damaged by the bazooka, the jet bazooka attack that Luffy gave him, but at the end of the damn day, he touched the poison. So Magellan was just a bad matchup for Luffy at the end of the damn day. If he had Haki back then, like Armor Haki, maybe you could argue that with the Armor Haki, he could coat his hands, and so the poison would actually affect him. Maybe? It's kind of shaky there. And then when it came to the post-time skip, Hardy Jones, weaker than Luffy, duh. Saber Caesar Clown, duh. Doflamingo, no, until Gear 4 Bound Man, where Gear 4 Bound Man just overwhelmed. And then Katakuri is more so my observation Haki is just too damn good. And I would argue that it was a draw in that case. I would argue it's a draw. Now, with Kaido, he's a bit special because when you go over Kaido's power pool, right? His main gimmick is durability slash invincibility slash immortality, whatever. He takes Luffy's Gear 3 and Gear 4 attacks, all of them. In the anime, Luffy does a King Kong gun, as far as we know, his strongest attack. And the King Kong gun does nothing. It does absolutely nothing against Kaido. And in the manga, it's a Kong organ, but it's a fierce barrage. And all Kaido does is sigh and just devastate with the Thunder Bottle. So Luffy's forte has always been, for the most part, just raw might, raw physical strength. And in this case, so far, Kaido has been somewhat proven to be invincible slash immortal slash very, very durable. All right, fine. At its root, because that's Kaido's main gimmick so far, that seems to be a bad matchup for Luffy. Very similar to Magellan, where Magellan was a bad matchup for Luffy. Kaido also has a tremendous amount of speed, I would argue, considering how in the manga, in the anime they don't do this, which is on one hand disappointing, but then on the other hand, Luffy does the King Kong gun and it does nothing. But in the manga, we all know, he speed blitzes Luffy, covers that ground in an instant and just devastates with a Thunder Bottle. We've seen his destructive power when he's in dragon form, where that blast breath is tremendous. Anything within the blast breath radius is going to absolutely, utterly devastate and disintegrate. And that's a tough attack. Not only that, but he can fly as well, so he has very good control over the weather. And in the anime, we do see that he does have some degree of elemental control, like wind, but also mainly lightning. And then as far as I understand, Eastern dragons in mythology, like China, Japan, these dragons do have some degree of elemental control. And then my man's stamina's game is on point. Very impressive. Normally guys that big, that muscular are taking steroids, and we know when it comes to the steroids, your tool isn't in the best condition. It is what it is.
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me
Kaido's stamina's game is on point, and Big Mom experienced that for someone. You know what? Never mind. I don't want to even go. That. God damn it. Because I don't. Now I'm see like, oh, Katakuri and Oven and the triplets, Kaido's kids, child support. Stop.
Why are we still here?
Big Mom and Kaido fought for several days on end, and we know that Big Mom, with her memories lost, can not only easily trounce Queen, but also Luffy, when trying to learn this new Haki, just got smacked in the prisoner mines. So Big Mom is still clean when it comes to her combat prowess, and Kaido and her fought for several days on Onigashima. And with that first clash, we can see how he can admit, him and Big Mom can admit so much conqueror's Haki in their clash to where they can split the sky. So in theory, and this is of course in theory, and it's a weird thing, I don't know why Oda hasn't brought up in Wano, but in theory, Kaido should be able to knock out many of the samurai allies with Conqueror's Haki. So I'm not too sure why the numbers in Wano Country matter so much when, again, Conqueror's Haki exists. Oda could try and pull some weird thing where, oh, the samurai, we are the samurai and we are really tough. The honor of the samurai will not allow us to be knocked out. It's like, he could pull Nippon Wano. There could be some ridiculous thing like that to where the samurai can't get knocked out by Conqueror's Haki for some stupid reason. But in theory, when they run up to Onigashima, Kaido and Big Mom could just, you know, flex Haki, just and then boom, that's it. Now, maybe we have a, let's say, Douglas Bullet moment where Luffy and Kid can counter the Haki of Big Mom and Kaido, and so protect their allies from the Conqueror's Haki waves of Kaido and Big Mom, albeit Kaido and Big Mom are stronger than Douglas Bullet, number one, because he's compared to Rayleigh, and Rayleigh, even in his prime, I wouldn't say is on the same level as Kaido or Big Mom, for that matter. But then number two is that Douglas Bullet's Conqueror's Haki wave is actually a bit bigger than Luffy's in the movie. So, I mean, I don't know. Let's wait and see how Oda actually does it, if he actually wants to address that particular situation. I don't see why he wouldn't, considering how it's armies against armies, but let's wait and see. He could be maybe too drunk to do Conqueror's Haki, who knows. And actually, that reminds me too, Douglas Bullet could take on all the Supernova for a period of time before Union Armada. Now, ultimately, he was pushed back, but he could still do it against Supernova. So if Douglas Bullet could take on all the Supernova in the movie, and he's as strong as Rayleigh, then why not Kaido? If it's gonna be a group effort, why not Kaido? She should be able to do it on paper, without question, Now we understand Kaido's situation a bit better. When we go over to the Allied forces, I would say it's gonna be a group effort to defeat Kaido at the bare minimum. Obviously, or at least I would argue, that Luffy is the strongest among his peers, and the main characters of focus right now to fight against Kaido are Luffy, Kid, and Law. Now, there could be a Hawkins and a Drake, maybe Apu flakes as well, maybe Kyoshiro joins the fray, who the hell knows. But at the end of the day, right now, the main three are going to be Luffy, Kid, and Law. However, I will address the first case. So let's go case by case here. There are some folks, because Kaido got wounded by Oden in the flashback 20 years ago, and because Luffy has been training for this new version of Armored Haki, a lot of folks are now convinced that Luffy can now beat Kaido one-on-one. That is case one. And mind you, I'm just being thorough here, okay? Again, folks believe that Luffy can 1v1 Kaido now, after everything's said and done with the training and so on. I don't see how the Ryo is enough to beat someone like Kaido. Yeah, he can do probably internal organ damage now to his shots. Whoop-de-doo. Kaido was captured by Marines and other Yonko, okay? The man has history with Whitebeard in some capacity. And Whitebeard, the man is pure internal organ damage base. And yet we know, and the folks that have translated on Twitter, on Reddit, the Ace novel, they're saying in that novel that Kaido is essentially virtually unkillable. So it is safe to say that yes, he's learned this new version of Ryo, but it's not gonna be enough to beat someone like Kaido, especially 1v1 on Luffy's part. On top of that, the whole bypassing the scales doesn't apply when Kaido's in base form. And when he was in base form, he was relatively clean. He was good to go. And then folks want to say, well, he has the scales underneath his own skin. How? Are Kaido's powers activated all the time? Like, is he a version of Luffy to where his rubber is always innately active? Are his scales always innately active underneath his skin or something? Like, is that even a thing? He's a Zoan, not a Paramecia. So the whole scale thing is a very strange and odd argument. I'm not buying it. Luffy is trying to beat Kaido, but he's gonna lose second time round. And part of the reason why is because Kaido is still gonna be virtually fine for the most part. He may get extra damage, fair enough, fine, but Kaido is ultimately just gonna be the same dude. And the same thing applies for case one, sub case one, where instead of Luffy, it's gonna be Kid against Kaido 1v1. I have seen this too. This to me is even worse because Kid, in my mind, is weaker than Luffy. Not stronger, not just as strong, weaker. Again, I could be wrong. Let's wait and see. But folks have been saying that Kid got stronger from the first time he faced against Kaido because of the block trading in the prisoner mines. And so that, on top of Kid being in some folks' mind, again, just as strong or stronger than Luffy, he can now beat Kaido one-on-one. On top of that, folks have been stating that Kid somehow knows this current Ryo that Luffy knows because of Haki blooming and so on. But if he already knew that from the jump, and him and Killer got throttled by Kaido first time round, off screen. Unless you want to say that he actually learned that in the prisoner mines? It's a stretch. It's a really, every part of case 1 is a mega stretch. I don't see any person in Wano country, that is Kaido's enemy, defeating him one-on-one. I just don't see it right now. No way in hell. Case 2. It is a group effort, at least on the part of Luffy, Kid, and Law. It is the first pass on Kaido for a group effort against Kaido. The first and only pass, where we see Kid, Luffy, and Law team up, and they fight against Kaido, and then Kaido's defeated, ultimately because of their team up on the first pass, which could happen. Now again, Drake, Apu, Hawkins, they could be included as well. Now, I'm against this case too, because number 1, again, it's a movie, but if Douglas Bullet is weaker than Kaido, which he should be, and he can fight against all the Supernova for a period of time, I don't see why Kaido couldn't do the exact same thing and then some, and then definitely some more. Number 2 is that in chapter 974, it is implied somewhat by the narration of that chapter that this raid on Onigashima is going to fail in some respects. And I think a part of that, genuinely so, is that Kaido is special in a particular way. I did a video on that, where Kaido is immortal, somewhat. Watch the video right here, check it out. But I believe, genuinely so, that one of the major factors as to why they're going to fail is because Kaido is going to be special. That's going to be revealed by Kaido or by the story in some way. Now, case 3 is going to be another group effort on the second time round, okay? After they lose for the first time as a group, they come back a second time. And this time it will be at least Luffy and Kid. And it all depends on the first time round. Let's say that Kaido is immortal, and then let's say with Law's surgery thing, he can kind of negate that some way with his powers, then Law dies and so on. If not, then okay, fine, it'll be second time round, but with at least Luffy, Law, and Kid once again. But it's at least going to be Luffy and Kid, I would argue, for the second time round as a group. And once again, this could involve Drake, Hawkins, and so on and so forth. But case 3 could be genuinely so, where it takes the group 2 rounds to defeat Kaido. And it's the case I most prefer, in all honesty. It really, really is. However, case 4 does exist. And case 4 has 2 subgroups. And this could be, let's say, after Kaido versus group round 1 or round 2, in between, who the hell knows? Gekko Moria may slide on up. And you guys know the rest. You guys know the rest. Gekko Moria may slide on up. Mugiwara! And then we have Shadow's Asgard for mainly, and I say mainly because I have been hearing where Gekko Moria could Shadow's Asgard Kid and Law and Luffy and Zoro. I'm like, wait, what? We want more to Shadow's Asgard. How many cats now? Like a whole squad of Shadow Asgard dudes? Again, damn. But let's just say mainly Luffy, right? Mainly Luffy. Gekko Moria slides on up, right? It's like, yo, boom, I got you, kid. Shadow's Asgard, Nightmare, Gear 4, Bound Man, Mega Luffy. And then that face off against Kaido. And that, again, could be after round 1, after round 2, who the hell knows? The second thing is that we have Hawkins tarot cards. Essentially, case 4 is power-ups. It's a bunch of power-ups that are possible. So once again, Shadow Asgard Moria. Number 2, Hawkins tarot cards. And Hawkins has a tarot card that can power up somebody. We're not too sure if it's indefinite. We have no, hopefully not. I pray to God not. But we know that Hawkins does have a tarot card that can greatly enhance the powers of a person. And then case 3 of case 4 would be both. Literally both power-ups. Now, case 5 is another version of case 4, where which it will be at some point, I genuinely believe so, a group effort against Kaido for at least 1 round. But now we have outside forces help, genuinely so. So Moria could help in that fight, where Moria could be part of that group. However, I'm talking about like major players, i.e. Zehahaha, Mr. All Day, Every Day, 24/7, 365, Marshall D. Teach rolls on up. Oh yeah, I've been fruit hunting, boys, goddamn right. And then he comes in there, Kurozu. And all of a sudden, it's like, what the hell? So, or there is one red-haired Shanks. So case 5 is like case 4, but in this case, instead of power-ups, it's going to be other powerful forces like admirals or Shanks or Blackbeard. They roll on up and they assist when it comes to defeating Kaido as well. Or they weaken Kaido in some capacity before he fights against Luffy, Kid, and Law for the second time, or something like that. Who the hell knows? Again, all these cases are very fluid. Another case 6, is that Big Mom and Kaido, their alliance is fractured for some reason, and then Big Mom wounds Kaido somehow, some way, very severely. Maybe some life force action. Who the hell knows? I doubt that considering it's Kaido, but again, somehow, some way, Big Mom weakens Kaido. Big Mom's out of the picture for whatever reason, and then Kaido is now vulnerable to the Young Bucks to come in there. So that's case 6. And then finally, case 7 is cases 2 through 6, all wrapped into one. Where essentially Kaido gets the work from all avenues, from all corners of the goddamn globe. He gets the work. He gets weakened by Big Mom, Blackbeard rolls on up, Moria rolls on up, and he powers up Luffy, Kid, Law, whatever that, like, and Kaido's like, damn, son, like, you gonna do me like that? God damn, man, might as well summon Goku, like, might as well, like, shit, my goodness. Oh. So case 7 is like, damn, like, we really had to pull out the entire verse. I mean, in theory, this is my mind, Shanks should be enough by himself because he's regular Shanks. But case 7 exists where, you know, we just put him through the goddamn ringer. Like, it's literally like, okay, all right, like, you know what, fine, just kill me, just genuinely kill me. I'm done. Too many cats, just way too many cats. So case 7 exists as well. But that's it, okay? Let me know your case 7 would be absolutely wild, bro. That would be ridiculous, man. Like, yo, Big Mom weakened me, Blackbeard rolls on up, Moria rolls on up with Blackbeard, and he powers these cats up. It's like, yo. And Hawkins now doing the tarot cards. Like, damn, son. Damn, son. All right, but let me know your stance on let me know your stance on the subject matter at hand. Be sure to rate the video. It is not that hard to do. I guarantee you that, because I know that you all have a device called Zmouseshoe. You use Zmouseshoe to click, rate the video, to click, subscribe, to click on that bell, join the squad. And of course, as always, feel free to please do comment in the comment section down below. Peace, and have a nice goddamn